how's it going? I'm home. I still have a few more days till I go back to work. Monday I go back. Um, got a little bit of the holiday cold. Not too bad this year, but I'm home lounging. I'm gonna go out in a little bit, but I'm just gonna do this because one, I don't feel good and I don't want to write 100 emails, and two, I'm just so fucking sick of this being the defense when somebody finally does get, like, look, at the end of the day, everybody has a right to appeal, but we're talking about Conor McGregor getting another fight and the whole appeal thing, and basically want to know my take on it. The people that ask me these things are on the panel with me. I do have some experience in law school. There are people that are actually lawyers as well, so I'm not like the only one they're going to. I just have experience with sexual assault and rape. It's one of my fortes, if you will. Unfortunately, I've helped in a lot of things because we need activism here. It's still an issue, and here's why. All right, first of all, as I said, everyone has a right to appeal, and an appeal can happen, and somebody can, if they are found to be innocent, you know, it has happened. I'm not saying it's impossible for somebody to be found guilty of something and then appeal it and then be found innocent. That's happened many times. Do I think this is going to happen here? No, I don't. First of all, I don't know the rules of Irish courts, so my advice can only go so far because every country establishes their own laws, rules, and regulations, and how they speak and say their terms in court. It all changes by country. If you go to England, they still wear the wigs in the court. You know, everybody has their own way of doing it, so I don't really know. I can't speak on Irish law, but if I was looking at it from an American point of view, so to understand the appeal process, a lot of times appeals get denied because you have to follow certain things to even get an appeal. A lot of times you cannot, unless you can prove that there was some kind of corruption in the jury or with the judge, a lot of the things that were submitted the first time aren't usually welcomed back in the second one. Before, you know, the appeal even begins, there are experts that look at how everything was handled. It is evaluated whether there is fair terms for an appeal. And you do, whether there's fair terms or not, you do have, most of the time in criminal court, you have up to 3 times to appeal it before they're like, or you can go all the way up to the Supreme Court and appeal it. Again, this is Irish law, so I don't really know what their standards are. Can they go in and say the same shit again? I don't really know. But if he was doing it here, he would have to present in some way that she was lying and be able to prove that, or be able to prove in some way, discredit the timeline, discredit the activities, discredit any of the evidence that was presented. You have to prove that there was an untruth to take back that verdict, or for the person who is appealing to present more evidence that they weren't there, or they were framed, or, you know, all that stuff can come out there. So somebody who is initially charged can go through the appeal process and be like, look, somebody fucked up, you know, my alibi, I told the truth, I can prove it, and they get removed from the case, and the case gets pushed forward with other people that were involved. That can happen too. Do I think Conor is going to be granted an appeal? Yes, he's a big name. It generates publicity and press, which I think is very negative for Ireland, and if Ireland was smart, they would reject it, because the world right now is really watching how different countries are handling sexual assault, because it is a big problem. look at all, the sex trafficking and all the disgusting shit that happens all around this world. And, Diddy and the people in the industry, enough is enough. I think a lot of people want change. So we're looking, countries are setting precedent, and this was a big moment for sports and rape culture, because it is so hard for somebody to bring a athlete into the courtroom. Most of them settle outside of court, because it just doesn't go all the way through. They just tear the person apart. Everybody in the industry comes out with 10 upper hands to the other person's 0 upper hands. They definitely, money talks in this court. I don't care what country it is. So I really liked that, Ireland stuck to the guns. And again, this wasn't criminally decided. He was not given criminal charges, and I absolutely think that criminal side should be revisited. If they are going to appeal this, why can't they try it in a criminal sense? Why didn't they allow her to try it in a criminal sense the first time? And if Conor was to win in the criminal sense and was found innocent, he might not have to pay the money out. I don't, again, know how Ireland works. But if I was truly innocent and I knew that there was nothing they had on me, I would push for criminal. No. There's no way I can be found guilty of anything. They don't have any evidence of me. I didn't hurt anybody, whatever. If you have nothing to hide, why did you sidestep the criminal proceedings? Because he knew he was going to get some. And, could Ireland really take having Conor McGregor behind bars? Ireland doesn't have a lot of, huge stars. They have a lot of stars, but they don't have a lot of, athletes on that level that's, worldwide. So I just think there's a lot of corruption in it. I really think that there was more that went down in there. And again, as a profiler, what a profiler was when I studied it was understanding criminals and how they acted and why they did things can go a long way in finding clues and evidence on how to get them caught. But also, if you understand the criminal, you can perhaps sidestep and save the next victim. So profiling, it's a lot in there, understanding the criminal mind. What are we looking for? Whether we're getting answers or whether we're looking for where they're going to be next. As far as a profiler mind, Conor to me acts guilty. There's 3 things they do. One is lean on religious crutches. They always go to some kind of organization because religion is, reminds everybody that we need to repent and forgive. So a lot of people, when they are trying to revamp themselves or make themselves look innocent, is to go towards a religious aspect. And he's been very verbal about God, not as much in the past, not saying he never has before, but that's a red flag to me. Why do you feel the need to lean on God so heavily in this time if you truly are innocent? And the second thing they do is parade on about the victimization. And again, we don't know the full truth. Maybe Conor will come out with some new stuff. But right now, all the world has is what's in front of them. So for him to continue on playing the victim when he was the one that's said to be guilty, whether it's true or not, is a bad look and makes him, to me, as a profiler, he is acting just like the other guilty people. And the third thing is excessive partying, drug use, or big ego. And, he's just demonstrating all 3 characteristics of, a rapist who thinks that they are above the law. And I know everybody gets so upset about the word rapist, but isn't that what he did? Why do we have to soften it and call it sexual assault? You forced yourself on somebody, whether you both started out to do it on purpose. One of them backed out and he didn't. So how is that not? I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. So to me, that's what he is.